Okay, so I needed to remove the two center studs in order to make room for the window. I used my Job Max tool from Rigid and cut out the studs. I ended up also having to heat up the wall with a wood burning torch in order to get that silicone to turn loose from the stud once I cut it loose. So I used a multi-tool. I cut a little C-channel there and left enough to reattach the plywood, as you can see there. Once I slid it in, I was able to attach it to the other two studs, and once we got it in, we cut out from the inside using my plywood as a guide to the outside, and that's it. Then we just did our sheeting. Alright, so we finished the other side and I'm getting ready to install the Vintage Technologies window that I ordered on Amazon. Alright, so we finished our wall. It is ready for the window. Here's how it turned out. As you can see, get this focused here. This is the 3/4 inch plywood that we used when we cut the studs and slid it in. This is a 3/8 sheeting that we put on top of that, and then we covered it with paneling, wainscoting, and then paneling on the bottom. So that in total ends up with a 1 3/8 wall. So what we did was we ordered a second window from Vintage Technologies on Amazon. The particular window that I ordered is the 1.5 inch for the 1.5 inch wall. It ended up being about $198.45. It is the 30 by 20 window. Sorry, my daughter is running around the camper. It came with instructions and screws that you need to put the two-piece system together. So we're going to prep the window and get it installed. Alright, so this is the window. It comes with, it's a two-part window, so you have the inner frame and then the window itself, the outer. And then it has a gasket on this side, and then it comes with a little groove right in here. And this is what you're trying to line up these holes on the inner frame with. So you want to try to put the frame over to prep the window and try to get the screw to go right into that groove. So they recommend putting several screws around and getting them started like this, and then taking it over for the installation. On my last window, I went ahead and did all of them, and I didn't have any problems. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get them prepped. Okay, so just a couple things, state the obvious here. When you are putting these screws in, just make sure that you're real careful that you're in that groove and that you don't slip off the screw and hit your window, because that would be bad. These are what the screws look like. They're a self-tapping screw, and they're painted to match. So I also wanted to mention that on the last window, I ended up having to call them, and I had a couple questions, and their customer service was awesome. So that is definitely a selling point for me. So alright, so I've tapped all of them, removed them. This is what I'm talking about. You want them to be in that groove, that all the way around. Alright, so we're ready to hang it. Layton, what do you think? Alright, so here's the inside. See what it looks like. You can kind of see the screws there along that channel. So that's what it looks like from the inside. And there's the finished product from the outside. It looks good. I am very pleased. I like how they're a tinted window and they have the screen already installed, so it should be real nice.